Burning down the house because apparently the Palisades and Eaton fires were not enough. Mother Nature was like, quick, hold my beer, as she wanted to start a fire a little too close to the actual city of Los Angeles, which we know as the Hollywood fires or Sunset fires. But let's see a time lapse of what this looked like as it was starting out. And I had to mute this for copyright reasons because the song as well, Burning Down the House by Talking Heads. But look at that. Look at that. Look at how that was spreading so quickly. We all thought that Hollywood was going to be engulfed in flames when that happened, or at least the Hollywood Hills. But look at that. I know that was sped up, but even though it was sped up, it was still relatively quickly with how that fire escalated. Luckily, as of this recording, it was fully contained and taken out, but just the fear that people were having in the area when this was happening, oh my god, it wasn't real. But anyways, let's move on to the next clip. So now we're going to see hell from above. This was a satellite view that caught a glimpse of the fire from space. Look at that.
It is genuinely.
But yeah, how wild is that? That even space satellites were able to see the fires from such a far distance. And now we're going to get more of a before and after comparison thanks to this next News Daddy video and a couple of more satellite images just showing you how wild these fires were.
Looking like the end of days in LA this morning. Satellite images today show some jaw-dropping before and afters with entire neighborhoods reduced to rubble. And only 2 days in, without any signs of slowing down, it has already become the most destructive fire ever to hit.
So that before and after was the Starbucks that I mentioned in the previous episode. Now it's completely gone, but let's keep going.
Los Angeles County. And depending on how bad things get, some reports are even talking about it becoming the most expensive in US history too. This is because just some of the 7 current fires are tearing through some of the most expensive land in the entire country, including the Palisades and the iconic Hollywood Hills. Both are currently 0% contained, with authorities saying currently there is just no possibility of bringing them under control. A bunch of celebrities, including Paris Hilton and Miles Teller, have had their houses burnt to the ground, with actor Steve Guttenberg calling the disaster the Great Equalizer. And just to make matters worse, Pasadena has issued an urgent alert saying that their water might be unsafe to drink, and the LA District Attorney was forced to threaten
can't even drink the water. Yikes.
Prosecution of people who are now using the
Flint, Michigan, anyone?
Crisis as an opportunity to loot, rob, and scam victims affected by the fires. As always, I'll keep you guys updated.
Yeah, you got to watch out because it's creating a lot of opportunities for some suspicious behavior over in LA. So the fire was really just the first part, but now you're really getting into having to deal with the people that would take advantage, and humans can be pretty dangerous, as they say. But let's see what this guy has to say.
Bro, the amount of fires that's going on in LA right now is absolutely fucking insane. We got the Palisades Fire, the Eaton Fire, the Hearst Fire, now the fucking Hollywood Fire. I just saw it on my For You page. There's another fire in Hollywood Hills right now.
Yep.
Someone's got to be doing this. There's no way all these fires are all happening at once, just naturally. Yes, the winds are crazy right now. There's like 80-mile-an-hour winds. But this shit, it's just popping up too crazy. There's definitely some arsonists doing some really shady shit right now. I honestly feel so bad for all the people and the wildlife that have to be evacuated and all the people that have lost their homes. It's truly just awful. And I really hope these winds die down soon, because if they keep up, it's only going to get worse. And I swear, if there's an arsonist out there, they got to give him the fucking death penalty once he gets caught. But this is way worse than the Woolsey Fire. If you're from Southern California, you know what that is. Like, it burned down a good chunk of LA County and Ventura County. It was really bad. It's up in the Malibu Hills too. But this is like way worse. There's way more fires in just a bunch of different locations that are going on right now. But thoughts and prayers to the families. I hope everyone's safe. And
yeah, so this is one of the most historic fires we've seen in LA history. And it's even got some people wondering if there's arson going on. And honestly, they need more than the death penalty. They honestly need to be beaten up in public. Like, I hope people who caught arsonists that were trying to make the situation worse, they were getting the hands, because I would have given them the hands. Look at these babies. They wouldn't survive.
Evacuated.
Okay, you guys don't even know.
Oh, so this one's pretty funny. Just listen to this one.
What kind of video I just watched. I'm in LA.
Snowy! You're going to have to forgive me for that one. My dog got a little excited when one of the neighbors passed by my apartment. I put her in timeout, so hopefully this doesn't happen again. Now, let's continue with this one. So this one's pretty funny. These are an example of people who don't really give a damn about what's going on.
Okay, you guys don't even know what kind of video I just watched. I'm in LA right now, so there's a fire once again on the Hollywood Hills where the Runyon is, where all the expensive houses are, okay? Now this car is driving through, ambers are flying, okay? Fire everywhere, okay? They're driving, they see 4 Armenian dudes. Now these dudes are walking like they're the Avengers, okay? Very confident, Louis book bags over across the chest. The person in the car is like, guys, come inside. Come into the car. They go,
where's the
They
Armani?
look back, they just keep walking.
Armani exchange.
The person rides up a little closer. They go, guys, come on. Come inside the car. They go, brother, relax. And just keep walking. The person's like, guys, I mean, it's not a big deal. Just come into the car. You guys are going to get hurt. They go, Achbe, relax. Like that. With a little... Once you get hit... Listen, if these guys hit that dude with a third relax, I mean... the person in the car would have probably woke up on vacation. You know what I'm trying to say? Bam. I just really want to know what those guys are up to, and I think I might want to join them.
I'm safely evacuated from...
Nah, that's what we call not giving an F. That is the epitome of having aura, as the kids would like to say these days, which is basically just a lot of confidence. But now, this girl is the opposite of that. And honestly, it's okay to be the opposite of this, of what the Armenians were doing, because a lot of people were freaking out, and especially her, because she was less than a mile away. But as you can see, the situation stressed her out to the point where she has a glass of wine. So let's see her story time.
I'm safely evacuated from the LA fires. I had like 0.0 seconds to pack all my shit, get my cat, and get the fuck out. Because the Sunset Fire broke out less than a mile away from me. I was watching the news. It was like breaking news. There's a Hollywood Hills fire. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's like right fucking there. So I gathered all my shit. I got my childhood stuffed animal, my birth certificate, and my cat, and got the fuck out of there. But getting out of Hollywood was in-fucking-sane. Like, everyone's trying to evacuate. People are driving like crazy. I'm just trying to come to terms with the fact that like my place might be in flames. I'm trying not to watch the news because it's stressing me the fuck out. But I don't know. All of LA, my heart's with you. I love you so much. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna be okay.
The fires in...
Hey, but anyways, red wine, it's good for the heart, okay? But yeah, I mean, she had a reason to get out of Dodge over there. She had a cat and she was less than a mile away. But now this guy makes an interesting point about how this could be an insurance disaster. So let's listen to what he has to say.
California are devastating, and it could be an insurance disaster. Over the last few years, major private insurance companies like Allstate and State Farm have completely pulled out of the state, dropping their customers and halting all new fire insurance policies, citing the rising...
It's like these people didn't learn from the Luigi saga.
Risk of wildfires and the soaring cost of claims. This exodus left homeowners with no other choice but to enroll in California's state-mandated FAIR plan. As a homeowner, this is your last resort for fire insurance if you've been denied of all other coverage. And as you may have guessed,
this is similar to the situation in Florida, where a lot of insurance providers were dropping their customers in Florida for basically the hurricanes and whatnot, and people had to go through Florida state insurance as a last resort. And now it's like one of the most popular insurance places where, you know, companies in Florida, even though it was meant to be a last resort and it's state ran.
Enrollment in this plan has surged, with 451,000 plans in effect, covering a total of $458 billion of home value. But here's the problem. The FAIR plan doesn't have the same capital reserve requirements as private insurance companies. And with the surge of enrollment happening in just the last year,
they don't even
it's
have a
unclear
fraction.
whether this plan has enough capital reserves to cover what are going to be catastrophic losses. Pacific Palisades' fifth highest exposure FAIR plan in Southern California at $5.8 billion. And if the total claim value exceeds what the FAIR Act has in reserves, the participating insurance companies can pass the costs directly onto the consumer. Only time will tell.
And that is going to spike up those premiums like holy crap. We're talking like double, maybe even triple. That is wild. This video, the video that we're reacting to right now, was posted a few days before my recording. And as of this recording, at the very least, what's the best way to explain it? Anyways, I got a little tongue-tied there, but what I'm trying to say is that as of this recording, California recently passed a law where the insurance companies cannot cancel the insurance policies of existing customers due to these fires. Like, they're going to have to honor giving out money to reimburse the people who lost their homes in the fire.
how this plays out in California, but this situation speaks to a broader, troubling trend. That traditional home insurance is not prepared to handle the scale and frequency of modern natural disasters. And if the insurance safety nets that we've relied on keep failing us, are these areas of the world even livable anymore?
This is how wild it is right now, all right? Look.
Oh, and we got the sirens over here, but this one's pretty funny, so check this one out.
Everyone's evacuated. I've got all my stuff in my car right now, and all that evacuation, like, bro, my head's hurting because I'm so hungry. I thought maybe for a second, there would be a chance I could get like a double cheeseburger really quick. There's still a line at the drive-thru at In-N-Out. How?
This drive-thru's always busy.
How are people still in line? I knew I was crazy, but I didn't know y'all were crazy too.
This wildfire.
Hey man, people got to get their munchies, right? Because they don't know when they're going to eat again with these evacuations, right? And now we're going to take a deeper dive into the LA housing market. And this guy's got a good point over here.
Fire in LA is going to cause a domino effect in housing, and here's why. Because the people that were affected are probably going to be filing an insurance claim all at once. I think it was tens of thousands of people affected, thousands of structures. That was reported at the time of recording this video, affecting about like 12,000 acres near the Pacific Palisades area. All those people are going to be looking for a claim from their insurance. So that's probably going to jack up insurance rates moving forward. And two, these people are going to be in the market for new housing. So the demand's going to go up in a already high demand market and a very unaffordable market to most people there. So this is a very unfortunate event. Condolences out to those people.
I'm from the Midwest.
And obviously there's less homes available now. So that's going to drive the prices up even further on top of like everything else that where those people that are now misplaced have to search for new homes, et cetera, et cetera. So it's going to create a domino effect, and we'll just have to see where it goes from there. But now we're going to get into this whole topic of people laughing at the fires because it's eating the rich. But that's far from the truth because, yes, even though the rich are getting affected by this, a lot of middle-class people are also being harmed by these fires. And these next couple of clips are going to explain why, you know, some of these middle-class people are getting messed up as well.
I've only lived in LA for a couple of months now, and in that very short time I've realized how skewed people's perception is of LA. I think 90% of the misunderstanding just stems from people not realizing how big the city is. My friends in the Midwest think LA is like this little borough in the hills where all the celebrities and all the rich people live. No. And I get it. Those are the people that you see on your phone. Those are the people that are posted up in Erewhon, driving around their G-Wagon. But that's not all of the city. When people say, oh, who cares LA's burning, they're the elite.
Because that's the only thing people see on social media when it comes to LA. But really, when you think about it, there's a lot of blue class workers that live in the LA area as well. I mean, think about it, right? A lot of logistics happens in the LA area. It's a leading logistics hub. So you have a lot of people that work in warehousing, supply chain, trucking, just that alone, right? And then you also have like all of the immigrants that come in and they're trying to make it, especially back in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s when they were really coming in. So you have like a bunch of mom and pop businesses that are trying to make it out in LA as well, on top of the donut shops that were from the Cambodians when they were escaping Cambodia and whatnot. But you know what I mean, right?
They're evil Hollywood. They can afford a different house. It's fine. Not all of LA is hidden hills. There are non-celebrities, non-influencers, non-rich people that live in LA. In fact, there's a lot of them. There is millions and millions and millions of them. And if you just hate the elites, you are giving them power by believing that they're the only people that exist in Los Angeles.
Exactly. He makes a point over there. And now this girl has something more to say on top of what that guy just said. So let's listen to her about the middle class being screwed as well.
Exactly why the stereotype of LA being filled with a bunch of rich celebrities needs to just stop. I am so disgusted by some of the online sentiment I've seen about the LA wildfires. I've seen comments online talking about like LA deserved it and eat the rich. And they're not from here, so they don't realize there's people born and raised in Los Angeles who've lived here for 30 to 50 plus years. People who've built their house from the ground up. My best friend just officially lost her house in Altadena. Her childhood home. There's nothing left. And you have these awful people saying terrible things about people they don't even know. Whether you're visiting or you just moved here, there are people who have lived here for decades. Even longer than that. Is it too much to ask from some of y'all to be respectful and sensitive to what's going on right now? While some of you who are visiting can just go back home, some people have literally lost their home. If you're not providing resources, helpful information, or words of comfort, please don't say anything at all. Because if you have nothing nice to say, then just don't say it.
Hollywood.
That is true. But speaking of rich and whatnot, let's see what happened to some of these celebrities that had homes, because you're wondering, right? And this guy gives a good Cliff Notes version of some of the celebrities who were affected by these fires. So let's get into it.
Wood's biggest celebrities have had their houses burned down. Anthony Hopkins, John Goodman, Miles
That is the Big Lebowski, John Goodman.
Teller, and Eugene Levy
Schitt's
have
Creek,
all
An American
lost
Pie.
their homes. So has Leighton Meester, Anna Faris, and Paris Hilton. The home where Matt Perry from Friends
rest in peace.
tragically died is also gone. James Woods shared footage of a home 2 blocks from his property that was completely engulfed in fire. Mark Hamill, also known as Luke
Force.
Skywalker in Star Wars, had to evacuate his home at the
Vader.
last minute. We don't know if his home is still standing. Ben Affleck had to escape as well. We don't know if his home still exists. Jamie Lee Curtis said on Instagram that she does not know if her home has burned down or not. Experts say a perfect storm of overgrown vegetation, dry conditions, and unusually strong winds are responsible for whipping up the most devastating wildfire Los Angeles has ever seen.
I don't think anyone who doesn't live in LA understands how
Oh yeah, so now this guy's going to put things into an even deeper perspective. So just listen to what he has to say, because it's pretty wild.
wild these fires are. It is currently traveling at speeds of 5 football fields per minute. And when I woke up this morning, it
Imagine that. That's like 5 touchdowns per minute. Like, come on, guys.
showed that there was a coverage of 3,000 acres in the Palisades. As of now, a couple hours later, it is at 12,000 acres.
And he recorded this video, I believe, on Friday. And as of my recording, on Sunday at least, that Palisades Fire is now 22,000 acres. So just in a matter of a couple of days, it shot up from 12,000 to 22,000 acres. However, at least they're starting to contain the fire. So hopefully by the end of next week, we should see 100% containment.
People in the area that were trying to escape literally had to get out of their cars to flee on foot, leave their cars there, and then all of the firefighters had to literally bulldoze those cars to get to the fires. Tens of thousands of people.
And that's going to be another insurance issue on its own. Just the cars alone getting bulldozed, like people are going to file claims for that as well.
People are being told to evacuate with nowhere to go, so they're literally telling them to go to the beaches on the coast.
Ooh,
The
beach party.
scariest part about this is that it is currently at 0% containment. Helicopters are not able to help in putting them out because the wind is so strong. And the wind is expected to get stronger in the next coming hours. Not to mention, we are running out of water. And the fires are spreading to places that people wouldn't even think they would go to. Like, there are fires in West Hollywood and downtown LA. I'm in West Hollywood, which is miles away from the biggest fires, and all I can hear is ambulances. It doesn't really matter where you are in LA right now. If you look up, it literally just feels apocalyptic. It's pretty scary out here, and it is very sad. So if you know anyone that lives in the area, make sure to reach out.
Yeah, the first couple of days of the fire felt apocalyptic indeed. Like you could smell the smoke and everything. And the skies, they looked like it was straight out of like a Mad Max movie or something like that. That's how wild it was. Now, to wrap things up, we get into the conspiracy portion of the episode. So put on your tinfoil hats, because some people believe that there's arsonists in the area trying to make the situation worse.
Hey, I was pretty sure this was arson previously, but didn't want to jump to any conclusions. Now there's an unrelated fire to the Sunset Fire on the other side of the hill, much more west in Studio City. This is, what, the 7th conflagration, 8th? This is too close to home. Too much of a, quote, coincidence. There's an arsonist on the loose.
Wild times. But then this guy debates against the arson suspicion. So let's see what his side of the argument is.
Just so much false information flying around about the Los Angeles wildfires, especially from people who aren't even near here. But I currently am near all major fires, and here are the objective facts as to what's really going on here. First of all, there are multiple fires from the Pacific Palisades to Pasadena, and now the Hollywood Hills has the Sunset Fire, but none of these fires were created intentionally. This is the result of lots of rain last year, which created a lot of vegetation, followed by no rain this year, and extremely dry 80-mile-per-hour winds pushing embers in all directions. Yep. Secondly, people seem to think that the fire hydrants, city reservoirs, and water tanks were somehow not filled with water before this event. They were all at normal levels, including the 114 city water supply tanks. They were not designated to be fighting multiple 1,000-acre fires all at the same time. And lastly, even if Donald Trump was telling the truth that California Governor Gavin Newsom was intentionally withholding water to protect the Delta smeltfish, it is the Federal Endangered Species Act that requires the protection of endangered species, not Gavin Newsom or California. Like it or not, everything I just said is objectively true. If you want to disagree in my comments, all it does is show me that you are uninformed about the situation and that you are not helping the people who are actually going through something
so
here
convicted.
in California.
It is genuine.
The conviction in his wording was wild. But yeah, that's about it for this episode. And if you made it this far, I'm going to record another episode where we go deeper into the conspiracy theories of the fire, which is the arson and the insurance problems and all that. So stay tuned for the next one. And holy crap, we're just getting this year started and we've already got so much going on. It's going to be an interesting 2025, that's for sure.